Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How you doing? I'm going to change the angle here just a little bit so I can see everyone clearly. So, Ho'oponopono, I'm so excited to talk to you about this spiritual tool that I have recently put in my toolbox, a tool that is giving me far greater inner peace than I ever imagined. And it's a tool and a process that you take your unity principles and it really helps you to kind of up-level them. It's really using unity principles as its foundational piece. Let me tell you what Ho'oponopono actually means. So it's an ancient Hawaiian technique, and Ho means create, and Pono means perfect. So Ho'oponopono is the process of creating perfection, and it's this idea that God is perfect, God's made you in His or her image, therefore you are perfect. And what we're here to do is to remove all those obstacles in our lives that stop us from seeing God and experiencing God and feeling that perfection within. Does that make sense to you? And with Ho'oponopono, basically what it is, it's this idea that you have these limiting beliefs, these limiting thoughts, these limiting memories, these limiting programs that are in your subconscious mind that are running. And sometimes you're not consciously aware that that's true. And they're getting in the way of you experiencing God more deeply. And what it is it's a process in which you say 4 simple phrases. And as you say those phrases, what you're doing is it's a call to the divinity. Please, whatever these things that are going on in me subconsciously that I need to gently remove, please not only remove them and cleanse them, but release them from me. So I'm no longer burdened by them, so I can get back to zero, which is that state of true oneness with God. Now, I actually didn't know what I was going to talk about a week and a half ago, but as I'm going to mention to you in a minute, I've been doing a lot of cleaning. I'm going to use that term a lot in my life, and as you clean and clean and clean and let go of these painful thoughts and memories and limiting beliefs that get in your way, you get to a plate of inspiration. I mean, what is inspiration but being in spirit? That's what inspiration means. And so I was inspired to talk about Ho'oponopono. Who knew? And I just recently read this book. It's called Zero Limits by Dr. Hogan and Dr. Joe Vitale. You probably saw Dr. Joe in The Secret, for those of you who have seen The Secret. And my wife originally told me about this book, and she told me about this story. Now, this story is absolutely unbelievable. Dr. Hogan, who's one of the co-authors of this book, he had been practicing this ancient Hawaiian technique for 25 years and was having all sorts of manifestations. And one of the most powerful ones was he was working as a psychologist at the psychiatric ward for the criminally insane in Hawaii. Now, let me paint the picture. He walks into the ward, and there, everyone is in their own room, and they're shackled to the wall. Why? Why are they chained up in their own rooms? Because they're attacking one another, they're attacking themselves, and they're attacking the staff. Staff morale was way, way down. Okay? Way down. People were just using their sick days left, right, and center because they just didn't want to be part of that energy. The clients were highly, highly medicated. So Dr. Len walks in. He doesn't see any of his patients, and weeks go by, and months go by, and all his patients start getting better. And everyone's saying, wait a minute, he's not even seeing the patients. I mean, all he would do is walk down the hallway, say hello to the people he would see in the hallway, and say hello to the patients, go into his office, close the door, and people would say, what is going on? The other patients weren't getting better, but all of his were. So after a period of time, the other psychologist said, will you teach us what you're doing? I don't know what you're doing, but will you teach us this magic sauce that you've got? And he said, sure, and he taught him the technique of Ho'oponopono. Well, wouldn't you know, after a period of time, the shackles came off everyone in their rooms. Their medications went way down. The incidents of violence completely dissipated. And the ward closed after 3 years because it was too successful. Imagine that. Do you want to know what he did?
Yeah.
He looked at their charts, and he saw what crime they had committed. and he looked and he saw the crime of rape, or he saw the crime of murder, or he saw the crime of stealing. And he experiences the thought and the feelings that he had looking at that record about what he felt about that criminal based on what he read. And he asked the divine, what thoughts in me, what feelings in me, what memories in me, what experiences in me need to be healed so I can see this person truly? What have I done? What thoughts do I have or feelings do I have that has allowed this person to come into my life and show up in this way in my life as a criminal? So what he did was he didn't look at the chart and say, what do I need to do to fix this particular individual? He said, what do I need to do to heal within myself so I can see them for who they truly are? And that's all he did. He never saw his patients once. So Ho'oponopono is built on some spiritual principles. Would you be willing to hit the next slide? Okay, can you go to the first one, please? Okay, so the first one is we're all one. And I think we all would agree with this, right? There's no separation between us. There's no out there. There's no external world where it's you working with this external world. And this is a concept that I'm still grappling with unity principles, this idea that everything is divine mind. I don't know if anyone else is grappling with that one. The world feels pretty real to me sometimes. But this is a very important principle, because if there's no out there, there's no separation between us, then there's a deep, deep connection. So as I heal my thoughts about you, you heal too. Because we're connected. You are the creator of your own experience. That's the next one. Can you hit the next one, please? You're the creator of the experience. You are 100% responsible. You are able. You're able to respond. This one was a mind blower for me. Because I don't know about you, I'm holding on to this idea that I create my life, right? I can hold on to that concept. But I don't believe I created Donald Trump. I don't believe I created some of these other random things that are happening in my world that I don't like. So this idea that I'm responsible for those things, I don't know, my ego had a hard time with that for a little bit. But what it's saying is that you're the creator of your experiences. If you create your reality, you're creating everything that is coming into reality. And so all of these external things that I thought was just, the result of poor consciousness from other people was actually a part of my consciousness that I needed to claim. That's a real shift. Yeah. So when these things happen in our world that we do not like, can you hit the next one, please? The things that don't happen in our world, they're not necessarily a result of me consciously thinking and dreaming them up. They're a result of what's embedded in my subconscious mind and in your subconscious mind, but I'm going to take 100% responsibility. It's happening in my world, so it has to do with me. I love what Dr. Len said. He said, have you ever noticed when there's a problem, you're always there? I love that. I just love that. So, these things that are happening, it's not like we're consciously trying to create them, but there's these things going on subconsciously. And what he says is that we're carrying memories and thoughts and programs in our DNA that are from our ancestors. Like, we're carrying stuff from before. There are things going on beyond our conscious mind that we're not even cognizant of. And this really resonates with me, because I don't know, have you guys done dream boards and affirmations and affirmative prayer and still have things not work out sometimes? Raise your hand if you've ever experienced that. There's something deeper that could be going on. There's something in your subconscious mind that might need to be healed and released. That's why tapping is so unbelievably powerful. Yay, Laurie. So incredibly powerful. Affirmations, that's another way. Ho'oponopono is another way. These are all different ways to do the very same thing. How do I clean up my mind about myself so I see things truly? All right, can we go to the next one? So this idea is that you can't control everything. that everything that comes in is an opportunity for you to clean and to heal. That's awesome. So anything unwanted, the person cutting me off on the highway before I got here this morning, opportunity for me to heal. Okay? Do you think I'm going to get any better? Do you think I'm going to see the divinity more if I'm too busy being angry at that individual? No. So that's awesome. The next one, please. So there's nothing more important than getting back to zero. And what zero basically is, according to Dr. Joe Vitale and Dr. Hogan in this book, Zero Limits, is zero is that stillness. You've heard that biblical quote, "Be still and know that I am God." And of course, we're part of the I amness, so be still and know that you're God. We find God in the stillness. We find God in getting back to zero. That sense, the Buddhists call it void. That oneness with God. Can you go to the next one, please? All right. So what Ho'oponopono is about is cleaning up any memories, thoughts, or programs, beliefs that are stopping us from having that zero. And the goal is to live from inspiration as allow as opposed to intend. This has been an incredibly powerful shift for me in my own personal life. I run this coaching business. I've been grappling with the direction of my business for about 2 years and beating myself up like there's no tomorrow. And I did this shift where I stopped intending where my business was going, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to allow it to go wherever it needs to go. And I was led to this very powerful question, which I'll share in the workshop, that if you're having a struggle with the direction of your life, don't ask yourself, what should I do? Ask yourself, who do I choose to be in this moment? Who do I choose to be right here, right now? And since I've started asking myself that question on a regular basis, who do I choose to be today? It's like the answers are coming because my ego is out of the way. And I'm just allowing it. Okay? So how do we actually do this Ho'oponopono? Let's talk about that. There are 4 simple phrases, and I've attended a training, I've read this book, I've heard other people talk about it. You can do these 4 phrases in different orders. There's no magical order that you must do them, but here are the 4 simple phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Now let me tell you what it means to me. This is my interpretation of it. So, Lori, let's say you show up in a difficult way in my life. Okay? I'm 100% responsible. So you showing up in that way, there's something in me that's not seeing you clearly. Does that make sense? So I say to you, I don't say to you out loud, I say to myself, including me, I'm sorry, because in this moment, the way that you've shown up, I'm not seeing the divine in you. Didn't you just have a little sermon about that just a minute ago, a little reading about that? So I'm sorry because in this moment I'm not seeing the divine in you. Please forgive me. I want to be released of this guilt, this burden of having a dark thought about you. It's not the truth about who you are. I want to be released from this. I love you. Love is the natural state between you and I because we're one. Thank you. Thank you for showing up in this way to help me to understand that there's something in myself that I needed to clean to get back to zero. Okay? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And I thank you. And the idea is not to achieve results. Okay? When my wife Carla shows up in a way that I don't like, and that happens from time to time. This isn't being recorded, is it, Scott? Just erase that part. I don't do Ho'oponopono to change my wife. I don't do it to change her. I do it to change me. So I don't do it to get a result. I get it to release the disturbing thoughts I'm having about her in that moment. Very, very powerful. So she has a tendency to kind of go off into the other room and needing a lot of hours to kind of just do her own thing, and that's totally cool. That's how some people kind of resolve conflict. They just need their time alone, and I get it. Me, I'm harmonious, so I want to immediately fix it. And I've let go of that. So when we have that kind of conflict, I just say those words maybe 10 times. Not out loud. I don't want her to know I'm doing it. And I'm relaxed with us being in disharmony for a while. The idea is I'm going to get in harmony with myself, and that's all that really matters. Because if I'm in harmony with myself, the next time that we actually do connect, I'm going to come at it with more loving energy. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay. I do it with my kids. My daughter's 14. She just started high school. She gives me lots of opportunities to play. Lots. They're beautiful children, though. I'm just keeping it real. And my son, he's special needs. He's showing up in a completely different way. Lots of opportunities for me to clean. But what I'm finding is I'm much more loving with my children because I'm doing this. Much more loving, and much more forgiving, and much more understanding. And I use this now with any interaction that I have with a person. Like I went to see a woman who I had a lot of egotistical thoughts about. Do you ever kind of pre-think a gathering with an individual? Like you have all these thoughts about who this person is as a woman. I had all these thoughts about who she was running, and I assumed that she was going to, when I met her, that she was going to act like this and I was going to act like this. Do you ever play that out in your head? And then what does that person do? They behave exactly how you think they're going to because you believe that they would. We carry all, didn't I say, we carry all these memories. So I have this memory of her being this way, and guess what? She was the actress in my play, and she played that role for me. So I said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to clean my thoughts about her prior to meeting her. And it was the best interaction I had ever had with her, ever. Because I was seeing her with new and fresh eyes. Imagine if we came into every interaction looking at someone brand new. The world would be a very different place. So in conclusion, there is a teacher, Dr. Hogan, her name is Morna, and she would say a particular prayer to heal her thoughts about other people. And I want to share it with you, and I'm happy if you want this, just let me know what your email is and I'll send it to you. Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Son, and Daughter is one. If I, or my family, or my relatives, or my ancestors, has offended you in any way, or your family, or your relatives, or their ancestors, in thoughts, in words, in deeds, and actions, from the beginning of creation to the present, we ask your forgiveness. Let this cleanse, purify, release, and cut all the negative memories, blocks, energies, and vibrations, and transmute these unwanted energies to pure light. And it is done. Wow. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. God bless you. Straight in. Oh, I wasn't sure if we were doing some pre-meditation music. Thank you. Sorry, you were looking at me like, are you ready? Yes. Okay, I am. Let's get centered. You can close your eyes. We've come to that special time in our service where we stop and go within. So I invite you now to become comfortable in your seats and relax. And let's begin to breathe deeply. Deep breath in together. Release. Deep breath in. And release. And as you continue to follow your breath, allow the peace of the Spirit within to flow through your mind, quieting your thoughts and calming your emotions, and just be, letting my words be as your words. I am a beautiful child of God. I am peace. I am forgiveness. I am understanding. I am compassion. And I am love. I release now any negative thoughts or memories or beliefs I have towards other people. Thank you, God, for helping me to see and love others for who they truly are. Thank you for releasing me from needing others to act or think or be in a certain way in order for me to feel good. I release now any limiting thoughts, beliefs, memories, or attachments I have towards things. Well, I'm incredibly thankful for all that you provide for me. I recognize that because I'm connected to you, I already have everything. I release now any limiting thoughts, beliefs, memories, and attachments I have towards outcomes in my life. Thank you for releasing my need for an outcome to go one way or another. And thank you for helping me to surrender all of the outcomes, all of the situations I have to you. And I release any negative thoughts, beliefs, and memories I have from the past that are in my subconscious. I ask that you gently release them and heal them so that I can get back into a state of full and complete oneness with you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And now let's feel God's loving presence as we enter into the silence. Thank you, God, for your unlimited love, for your patience, your support, your guidance, and your strength, for believing in me and helping me to believe in myself. And all is well, because I fully surrender it to you. And so it is.